Hi everybody, this is Noelle from Petitti's, and I'm with my coworker Jason.
How's it going?
And we're at his raised bed. So we've been doing this whole project. Well, we haven't been. Jason's done all of the work, and running into just a few issues that you'll come across when you're starting to grow your own vegetables that we wanted to touch on. And with the cold crops that Jason grew this year, there were a few holes in the leaves. And so when we see holes in the leaves, we normally will ask, do you think it's a sucking insect or a chewing insect? And most likely it's a chewing type insect. So then you kind of have to narrow it down.
Yep.
And when we have wet springs like we had this year, lots of times for in-ground planting, it's usually the slugs.
Yep.
But in this case, with your raised beds, you have not seen any problems with slugs at all.
Slugs haven't been the issue. It's more been what we affectionately call the cabbage moths, or the little itty bitty larvae.
Yeah.
They're green. They're almost the same color as the foliage. Best way to look at that is when you see the little holes appearing, flip the leaf over and start looking for it. They're inconspicuous and small, but they're usually the culprits as far as starting to munch on your goodies.
Yeah, and so with chewing insects, there's a couple different things that you can use out in the garden, but we often recommend is Captain Jack's Dead Bug Brew. It's a mouthful, but what's interesting about it is its active ingredient is spinosad, and or spinosad, however you want to say it. And so what it is it's an active, natural occurring bacteria that will actually reduce those insects and kill those, especially chewers out there.
And quickly too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very quickly.
So, Jason, you used your ready to spray, right?
Yep.
And you hooked it up to your hose.
Yep.
And tell us why you chose this applicator versus like a trigger spray.
So I did this one because, especially when you start getting into, for me, your bigger sized gardens. Again, these the two big ones are 4 feet by 40 feet. Number two, when you start getting into your real thick, stiff-leafed cold crops, such as your broccoli, your Brussels sprouts, your cauliflower, even cabbage, a lot of times what we want to do is you spray, and then you still start to see chewing because it's underneath the leaf. I chose this because it's really easy, saves on the forearm workout.
Yeah, for sure.
But because it gives much more pressure, you can kind of get into the nooks and crannies around the plant and get much more effective coverage.
Yeah, absolutely. So we often talk about for immediate, if you don't have, Captain Jack's on hand, an immediate insect control is to go ahead and get that hard stream of water, with a hard sprayer on the end of a hose, and really spray those insects off as best you can. That's a great immediate control option for you. But then something like this, Captain Jack's, can really help prevent other occurrences of it happening. And Jason and I were just talking about Captain Jack's, for being a natural insect control, has a pretty good efficacy. It's really pretty long lasting as far as natural sprays are concerned. So with cold crops on the label, so you're always following the label directions, but cold crops, you can apply this, and then you want to actually wait 4 days for a reapplication, and also you need to wait 1 day to harvest. So, but again, really good, effective product for us. So I wanted to show you, Captain Jack's, of course, comes in concentrates and all different configurations, if you will, but neem oil is also a really good option that we use out in the garden. And this can control 3 different things for you. So your neem oil products can control not only disease, insects, but they can also control mites too. And Captain Jack's can control mites as well. But it is specifically just an insecticide versus a 3-in-1 spray. So some good natural options out there that you can use out in the garden. And again, whenever you're applying pesticides, any type of disease control, insect control, what have you, try to be mindful that you're spraying at the times when your pollinators are less active, right? So in the morning, early morning, or in the evening when they go to sleep, essentially. So.
And the biggest thing with that is early morning is kind of like if you're doing your step 2 weed and feed, early morning. So you're going to get up a little bit earlier than you may want to.
Yeah.
But, 5:30, 6 o'clock, when all of the good guys are still asleep, gives us a chance to dry. When it dries, it still leaves a residual for the undesirables, but your beneficial pollinators are going to be okay.
Absolutely. So really, that good control options here, natural control options, safe especially for your garden and your edibles. So it's great. Enjoy.
Thank you.